Okay, now we have seen the overview of automatic payment program configuration. Now we will swing into action. Okay, this is a topic that we have covered just now. So now we will go to the actual configuration for automatic payment run, and after that we will see automatic payment run execution. So now we are at this stage, automatic payment run configuration. Let me take you to the configuration screen. Alright, we have financial accounting new, accounts receivable, accounts payable, business transaction, outgoing payments. Outgoing payments, you have two options, manual and automatic. So you choose automatic. Come down. So you have here the setup all company codes for payment transactions. This is just an information step. If I go here, it will just explain to you what are the steps that needs to be done. But since there is no clock sign here, you have nothing to do here. Just go to the next one. Set up all company codes for payment transactions. So this is the first step you have to do. Alright, we have listed all the 5 steps here. The first one being the set up all company codes for payment transactions, and after that followed by is specify paying company code, and then minimum payment amount, company code level, set up payment method, specify minimum maximum payment is also company code level, and specify bank accounts for payment methods and company code level. Alright, so we go to the first thing here. You can see all the company codes which are set up. Then let us see a sample company code. For example, let's say 1000, the address Germany. Okay, this is a sample screen format. I will explain to you what are each field responsible to do. Okay, let us create a new entry for our company Sun. Click new entries, enter Sun company code, and then here paying company code, enter Sun. You know what is the reason you have sending company code and payment company code, paying company code, right? I have already explained earlier. This is for the cross company code payments. That's why we have three company codes here. But if you're not going to do cross company code postings, then you just have to enter the same company code in both the fields here. This one is optional field. This need not to be entered. Okay, if you want to establish a cross company code payment whereby company code A pays on behalf of company code B to the vendor, so then here you put company code A and here you put company code B. So this means that for company code B, here you put company code B and here you put company code A. So this config here depicts this situation whereby company A will be paying on behalf of company B to the vendor. So in this company code B, you have to specify that the paying company code as A, so that any outstanding amount that belongs to B will be paid by the company code A. So that's how we specify, but we are not going to do the cross company code postings here. So we just put Sun and Sun here. Right. If you are interested to know what is this field for sending company code, if you don't get confused, because I can explain each and every field, but I don't want you to get confused by hearing too many things about a screen. But for those who are interested to know what is this sending company code, let me explain a bit, maybe you can understand. For those who are not interested to know this optional field, You can just ignore this for a moment. Okay, now this sending company code is let's say if you have specified company code Sun and paying company code as Sun, then if you make a payment for the company code Sun, then this will not be treated as a cross company code posting. But if you have specified B and A here, this being B and this being A, if you want to make a payment for the outstanding amount at the company code B, the bank accounts from company code A will be used to make the payment for company code B. But that the document which is generated, the payment document which is generated, will group together lots of other company codes into one single document. Okay, for example, if there is another company code called C, right? Now in this case we have only A and B, but what happens if you have C? Let me just explain this. If I have company B and C being paid by company A, both are being paid by company A, then the single payment document will contain the payment information for B and C. That means whatever outstanding amount that is outstanding for company B and company C will be paid in a single document, which will be posted in company code A. But if you want to, for whatever reason, if you want to generate a separate document for each company, one for company B and another one for company C, then you have to specify here the sending company code, which is B, so that the payment document will be separated for company B. That means in any payment document, cross company code payment document, the company code that will be available in the payment document will be company code B. So this payment document is exclusively for company code B. So that's the reason we use the sending company code. But if this is very confusing for you, just ignore. It's not a very important field. Just carry on. Anyway, we are not going to do the cross company code postings, right? So just go to the next one. Tolerance days for payable. This means that what happens is that the automatic payment run will actually pay all the outstanding vendor documents which are due for payment. But for whatever reason, if you want to add a grace period to the due date of the vendor outstanding document, then you can do so using this field. Let's say if you add 2 days here, that means the system will add a grace period to the due date of the vendor outstanding document. Alright, so as long on the key date of the payment run, if the document is going to expire, going to be due 2 days ago, then you will add these 2 days to that net due date, and therefore you will not pay this document because there's a grace period for you to make the payment, so you will not pay the document. That's the purpose of this field. If you want an example, let me create an example and continue this. Alright, I've just drawn up an example for you to explain this field here. So let's say the vendor document date, okay, let me just add a vendor here. Okay, vendor document due date is 20th of June. It's going to due on 20th of June. If I add a grace period of 2 here, what will happen is that when I run the automatic payment run on the 20th of June, without this grace period, you should pay this document. But with this grace period, since we have specified the grace period as 2 days, then the actual due date for this vendor document will become 22nd of June. So it will not pay this document when it's run on the 20th of June. So, but when the payment is run on the 23rd of June, and this document will be paid, because 20 plus 2 days is 22nd. So this document will effectively become due on the 22nd of June, but I'm running the payment on the 23rd June. So in this case, this document is already due to be paid, so it will make the payment. So in the same way, if I run the payment on the 22nd of June, then it will also pay this document, because 22nd of June is just in time to make the payment. However, for 21st of June, this document will not be paid. Alright, because it will become due only on 22nd. So let me just put like this. So on these 2 days it will not be paid, but on these 2 days it will be paid. That's the purpose of tolerance days for payable. If you don't specify a tolerance days, if it's 0 or you don't specify anything, then on the 20th of June it will be paid. Okay, now I'm not going to specify any tolerance days. Outgoing payment with cash discount from, this is actually another option. Okay, I need to draw up something to explain this outgoing payment with cash discount from. This is actually an option for you to specify what is the cash discounts that you're interested to realize when you're making the payment for the outstanding vendor documents. For example, if you specify 2% here, then only the cash discount, which is 3% and 4%, will be paid, and the cash discount which is less than 2%, maybe 1%, will not be paid. So to understand this better, let me draw up something. Okay, for example, if you have a vendor document which has got okay, we have a vendor document which has got these cash discounts offered. The document date is dated on the 4th of June. So if you pay this vendor document within 3 days from 4th of June, that is on the 7th of June, then you'll be getting a, sorry, this should be the other way around, 3, 2, 1, because the faster you pay, the higher the cash discount is. Sorry about that. So within 3 days, that is on the 7th of June, you make the payment, you'll get a cash discount of 3%. However, if you pay on the 5th day, that means on the 9th of June, you'll be getting a lower cash discount, which is 2%. If you pay on the 14th of June, then you'll be getting a cash discount of 1%. But if you lose all the cash discount, if you pay after the 14th of June, if you pay on the 15th of June, then you have to pay all the vendor invoice amount without any cash discounts. Okay, this is how typically a vendor will offer you cash discount to collect the payments faster. So you being the buyer, you would always want to enjoy a cash discount, and therefore you want to make the payment earlier instead of waiting until the 15th of June, because 15th of June onwards you have to pay the full invoice amount. Okay, so you'll be losing all these cash discounts. So what does this field do when you enter 2 here? If you enter 2 here, then okay, when you enter 2% here, what will happen is that let's say you run the payment on the 7th of June. The cash discount of 3 will be given to you. So since this is higher than the 2 cash discount, the limit of cash discount entered here, the system will pay this document to enjoy this cash discount of 3%. That is if you run the payment run on the 7th of June. If you run it on the 9th of June, then you'll be enjoying this cash discount 2%. So this is still equal or higher than 2. So the system will attempt to enjoy this cash discount by paying this document. But on the 14th of June, if you so happen to run the payment run, then you'll be enjoying a cash discount of only 1%, which is lower than this 2% ceiling which is entered here. So for this case, the system will not try to enjoy this cash discount, because what you have specified here is that you want to tell the system that enjoy the cash discount as long as is 2 or higher. So anything lower than that you are not interested to enjoy. The word enjoy means that you want to maximize your profit for the company by paying as early as possible. If the cash discount is very good, very lucrative, then it's worth paying those documents to enjoy the cash discount. If the cash discount is very low, it's 1% or 0.5%, then it's not really worth to pay a vendor document. So that's how the companies can use this field here to specify. Let's say you want to enjoy the cash discount of 5 or higher. Anything lower than 5 you are not interested to enjoy. You rather want to pay it on the due date of the document, which is on the 15th, and you don't mind paying the entire invoice amount without any cash discounts. So if you run it on the 14th of June, this document will now be paid, because you'll be enjoying only a 1% cash discount. So the system will skip this document, and when you run the payment on the 15th of June, then it will pay this document, because on the 15th of June this is due net already. So it has to make the payment on the 15th of June, otherwise on the 16th of June it will be overdue. Some vendors may charge you interest, okay, for overdue invoice. So you definitely don't want to end up paying interest. So when you run the payment run on the 15th of June, the system will make sure that this document is paid regardless of whether or not you have any cash discount. It's due net anyway, so you don't have any cash discount. So this is how the companies can use this field to tell the system that if there is any cash discount offered which is less than 5, then don't attempt to pay those documents before the due date of the invoice. You rather want to pay the document on the due date of the invoice. Okay, so that's a function of this field. Hope it's clear. Alright, I'm not going to specify any cash discount here, and let us check what is max cash discount now. Okay, max cash discount is again another option. If you put a tick mark here, and if you have put a ceiling of 2% cash discount, this setting will override this, which means that the system will try to maximize the income for the company by paying as early as possible, because only for this particular document, only if you pay within 3 days of the vendor document, you'll be enjoying a maximum cash discount of 3%. So the system will make sure that when you run the payment on the 7th of June, it will check the cash discount offered and make sure that this document is paid, because only then you can enjoy a maximum cash discount of 3%. Okay, that is if you set this indicator here, and even though you have set a ceiling for 2%, then this will not be taken into account. As long as the max cash discount is realized, you will pay this document, alright, on 7th of June. This is the purpose of it. I'm not going to use any of these fields. And then this special GL transactions to be paid. Okay, you know what is a special GL transaction, right? Like down payment and so forth. You need to put in the indicator here to tell the system that you want to pay any special GL transactions that this vendor may have. So whatever special GL transaction that you want to pay, be it down payment or whatever, you have to select here, or you can manually key in here. So only then you will pay the special GL transactions that is available for this vendor. If you leave it blank, then any special GL transactions will not be paid. Same thing goes for customer. So I'm not going to use these fields either. I'm just going to save. Data was saved, as simple as that. So now we have an entry for Sun company code. Let us go to the next step, which is set up paying company codes. We are coming to the first entry here, specify paying company code. Let us see what we can do here. Alright, let me put it into Sun. Oh, Sun is not established yet. I need to establish. I'll click the new entry and enter Sun paying company code. I need to change the currency. It is pointing to South African amount. Let me just see. Alright, what I did is that there's no option to change the currency code. I just put $100 and saved, and the currency symbol automatically changes to USD. So you can do the same if you see a different currency code from the one that you're using for your company code. But I'm not going to use this field either, because it's an optional field. Alright, minimum amount for outgoing payment. Okay, the purpose of this field is to tell the system that you want to make the payment for vendor outstanding document only if the outstanding amount is greater than this amount that you entered here. For example, if we enter here 100, then if there's any vendor document which is lesser than 100, say about $70 or $80, the system will not attempt to make the payment. Okay, maybe 100 is not a good example. Let's say you put $2 here, so the system will skip any vendor outstanding documents which is less than $2, say $1 or $2, because the cost of generating a check and posting it is higher than making the payment for these vendors. So you rather want to make a manual payment or some other payment methods. Okay, so here you can specify those kind of minimum payment amounts. Okay, I'm not going to specify any minimum payment. Just save it and go out, and you're done with the first step of specify the payment company code. Sorry, specify minimum payment amount, the company code level. Okay, this one, specify paying company code, is related to this step here. Okay, and this one relates to this setup paying company code. Okay, maybe I have wrongly told you that this step setup paying company code is related to this step here. Let me correct myself. It's not the case. This one relates to this, and this one relates to this. Sorry about that. Okay, now the next thing is set up payment method document type for posting. This is the country code level. Let's see. It's the one, set up payment method document type for posting. Okay, let us look at this set up payment method and document type for posting, country code level. That is the third step here, set up payment methods per country. The reason I have put this as country level is because we won't be specifying any company code here, because this is set at the country code level. So we need to specify at our country code level, which is US, since our company is in the US. See, these are the payment methods which have already been set up for country code US. So any companies which is incorporated in the US, any companies which are using US as their base country, will be using these payment methods to make the payments. Okay, now there's already a bank transfer. Let me see if there's okay. I'm going to use alphabet X because only X is available. Okay, this USA is not a valid entry here because the country code will have only 2 alphabets. That is the ISO standard country code. So this is not a valid entry. This can be deleted. Let's not worry about that. Let's just concentrate on the US. Use a valid country code. Okay, I have okay, since I can specify only one character, I need to specify which character I can specify. So up to WY is used. So bank transfer is also used, which is T. Maybe I can delete this, but let's not delete this. We'll create a payment method called X. Okay, let's click new entries. I'm going to enter US payment method X. This is bank transfer. Alright, I'm going to use this for outgoing payment, so it's already ticked. Bank transfer, yes, that's right. And there's one more thing you need to specify, which is the document type for payment. See this? So the two important things that we specify in this screen is the payment method, which is specified here already, and the second important thing is the document type, which is over here. This document type is actually used to generate the payment document, because all our SAP documents must have a document type, right? For example, for vendor invoice we have a document type called KR. For customer invoice we have a document type called DR. So similarly, for making payments to vendors we need to specify a document type. So normally if you go in here, there's already a document type predefined for vendor payment, which is KZ, stands for vendor payment. But this one I'm not going to use. This one actually I can use this, but the problem with by using this is that we cannot differentiate which are the payments posted using manual method and which are the payments posted using the automatic method. So that is the problem here. So I want to reserve this KZ for manual payment, and I'm going to come up with a separate document type called ZP for automatic payment. If this is not available, you need to create it. So in order to differentiate the payment document generated by the automatic payment run, you need to use a separate document type without using the KZ. So similarly, for clearing document type, you have to use a separate document type. Okay, this is post the cross company code payments. So we are not going to use cross company code, so just leave it as it is. Now we are done. Just save it. Specify both document types. Now what message is this? So it's just saying that you should specify the clearing document type as well, but just leave it. You can quit, and the data was saved. It was just an information message. So you can see the data is saved under United States bank transfer. So it's very simple. You just specify the payment method and the document type here. So we are done with this. Set up payment method, document type for posting, and the country code level. Remember, we did not specify any company code, right? Let me take you there again. We didn't specify any company code, right? So just leave it. So this is specified at the country code level. Let me just explain one more thing. The currency is allowed and this thing. If I go in, select the X payment method and go to currencies allowed. Here you can define currencies, payment document currencies for which you want to make the payment. So if you specify USD here, click new entries and specify USD here and save. For this payment method, only USD documents will be posted, will be paid, sorry, not posted, which means that if the vendor has got the outstanding invoice document in euro, that means you have bought some goods from a European based vendor, and here the transaction currency is euro, and if you have specified USD here, you won't be able to make payment to that vendor for that particular euro transaction using this payment method. When you run the automatic payment run, the program will just skip any documents which is not using the USD currency. So as simple as that. So if we leave it empty, then there is no filter, so all the documents can be paid regardless of the document currency. So I want to leave it empty, so I'm not going to specify anything, just leave it. So if I go back and check, it's still empty, so I can make the payment for any type of document currency. Alright, now we go to the fourth one, specify minimum maximum payment amount at the company code level. Alright, this is the step, set up payment methods per company code for payment transactions. So this is the first step. Actually this should be changed to more elaborative description, because this is the place where we tie a payment method to a company code. That means we set up a company code for a payment method. So let me just change this description to this. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this to the right, and then enter text, new text here, as like this. Setup. Oops, the text is very big. Let me go to a smaller one. Okay, setup payment method the company code and specify the okay, now it looks better. Set up payment method per company code and specify minimum maximum payment amount per company code level. Okay, let me just copy that and lower it a bit. Okay, now it looks better. Let me save this. Okay, let us go into this tab. So we need to specify a payment method per company code, Sun Okay, set up payment with the company code. There's already many payment methods here. I'm going to delete all of this because we only need, oh yeah, sorry, I'm not going to delete because why? All these are inherited from US company code, sorry, US country code. Remember when we set up the payment method for the country US, since our son company code is under US, all those payment methods are available for son company code as well. These are inherited from the US country code. Okay, now we need to add our X company code. Okay, son payment method X, this is a new one that we added, and minimum amount and maximum amount for payment. Okay, no doubt we have already specified a minimum and maximum payment amount at the company code level. This minimum and maximum payment amount will be specified at the payment method level. So this one, the difference between this and this is that the amount that's specified at company code level is applicable for all the payment methods under the company code, but this one is by payment method. Okay, so the minimum amount specified by the payment method will take the precedence. Okay, only in the event if you don't specify any minimum payment amount for the payment method level, then the minimum payment amount specified at the company code level will take effect. Okay, so if you specify 100 here and save, enter maximum amount that is greater than minimum amount. Okay, and 100, data was saved. Alright, so this is how you specify minimum and maximum payment. So you know what is the minimum payment, right? If you specify $100, then $100 here, then any documents which is lower than $100 will not be paid. For example, if $80, then it will not be paid. And if you specify a maximum amount, the same thing applies. Any amount which is more than this maximum amount will not be paid. Okay, so if you have specified from and to range, minimum range and maximum range, any documents falling within this range will be paid, and any documents outside this range will not be paid. And the other thing that you have to remember is that if you have specified a minimum and maximum amount at the company code level, which is at this level here, then this setting will supersede the company code settings, because this is at the final level, at the payment method level. Alright, so I'm not going to specify minimum and maximum payment. I'm just going to save. Okay, it's saved here, X. Alright, that's about it, and we are done with the fourth step. Now we go to specify bank accounts. This fifth step here, the final step. Go out, which is here, execute it. Alright, you don't have to create a new company code, because once you create the company code here at this level, then that is available here as well. Go back there, so just highlight it and go to ranking order. Okay, let me go again. Set up bank determination over here, Sun is already there. Let's click highlight and click ranking orders. I'll explain what is each of these steps for. Firstly, just follow what I'm doing. Once you go inside ranking order, just click new entries, select the payment method. X is the one that we have created just now, and specify the house bank, which is 100. Okay, this house bank needs to be set up first before you can pull it here. I've already shown you how to set up the house bank, right? Okay, I'm not going to show it again, but just to refresh your memory, I'm going to show you the screens where the house bank can be found. It's under the bank accounting module. Here, Sun, enter some company code Sun, and you can see the house bank of 1000, which is Citibank. So that is what is shown here, 1000. I'm going to select it, and then the currency is USD. Okay, and okay, this is the single most important field here, ranking order. The reason why we have ranking order is that if you have many bank accounts, in this case we have only one bank account, right? So in this, if so happen that you have many bank accounts, you're going to specify everything for this payment method. Okay, for the same payment method you're going to specify multiple bank accounts. Then the question will arise, which house bank should be used to make the payment? What is the order? Okay, the reason why you specify more than one bank account is that if the money funds in account is not sufficient to make the payment, then the system can actually pull the money from the second bank account and third and fourth and so forth. So that's the reason you specify multiple bank accounts for a single payment method. But if you have specified multiple bank accounts, then how to determine which bank accounts funds will be used first, second, third and fourth? That's what we control in the ranking order field. So no doubt we don't have a bank account called 2000. I'm going to just key in something like this so that you can visualize what I'm trying to say. Let's say we have 4 bank accounts. Alright, so if I specify 1, 2, 3 and 4, then I've ordered all these bank accounts that the funds should be taken from the house bank 1000 first, and if the funds have been utilized in the house bank account 1000 fully utilized, there's no more money left, then the second bank account which will be retrieved is 2000 and 3000 and 4000, so forth. You can also order like this 3, so it doesn't really matter how you order them here. You can change the index here. So in this case, the house bank account 4000 will take precedence. The funds from this account will be used first, followed by this. Or you can also set up like this. The order doesn't really matter. First it will use 4000, secondly it will use 2000, the thirdly it will use 3000, fourthly it will use 4000. In this case we don't have many bank accounts, right? So we're going to use only one bank account, which is 1000. The currency field is for you to specify the currency of the funds available in the bank account, in this case USD. Okay, put 1 here. Then I'll go to bank accounts. I need to delete all these things because since I entered let me cancel this. Okay, see if I can save this. Yeah, saved already. Alright, let me delete this. Okay, save. Yeah, okay, done. Now let me go to bank accounts, specify this and bank accounts. Okay, me enlarge the fields. Okay, here we're going to specify the actual account number of the house bank code, because in the earlier screen, which is here, you have specified only the house bank code but not the account ID. Here we'll specify the account ID and the GL account, which is very important. Okay, these are two things that is specify: account ID and a bank sub account. Account ID refers to, right, let me just check. Account ID refers to this, yes. Okay, the reason you have account ID is because under one house bank 1000 you can have many account IDs. So the combination of account ID and a house bank will determine a bank account uniquely. Do you get that? Let me just show you the SAP help. This ID together with the ID of the house bank uniquely defines a bank account. So the combination of these two will uniquely define a bank account. So this alone will not define a bank account, because under one house bank you may have many different account IDs. Okay, so this is what we're going to specify here. Click new entries, house bank 1000, payment method X, currency USD, account ID is 1000, and the bank sub account is a GL account. Alright, let me explain what is the bank sub account is. Normally a GL account is already tied to the house bank. Okay, this is the main GL account, but for bank reconciliation purposes we need to have an outgoing clearing account for main bank account. Okay, so we need another GL account just to store the outgoing payments posted from this payment method. So during bank reconciliation, the system will check the bank statement and then move the amount from the clearing account, which is also known as a bank sub account, to the main account over here. That's the purpose we have a bank sub account, which is also called bank sub account or bank clearing account, outgoing clearing account. So all you need to do is just to specify a GL account here. Let me see if it's already set up, otherwise we need to set up one. Looks like we need to set up one that is not set up yet, so let me quickly do that. FS 00. Okay, now let me see what GL account is available for us. Okay, up to 20007 is used up, so we can go for 2008. Let me just change it. Okay, I'm gonna create it. Choose create from the menu. Right, current assets. Yes, current assets. Balance sheet account. Here what you have to specify is that bank outgoing clearing account. Outgoing clearing account. Okay, now I come here, account currency USD, that's right. You'll see this group is bank accounts, and save it. Okay, we can save it. Alright, now we can copy this and specify here, not here, over here. Alright, and you're done. I'm going to save this. Database saved. So if you look at this bank accounts, you have 200,000 as a main GL account and 20008 as a outgoing clearing account. Don't be worried too much about what is the purpose of these two GL accounts specified for the same bank account, because if you notice, both of these are the same bank account and you have specified two different GL accounts. The reason being is that this is needed for bank reconciliation. Okay, so when we come to bank reconciliation later on, I'll explain in detail why we need two GL accounts, but for time being, just bear in mind that any payment postings originated from the automatic payment will be posted to this GL account. This GL account will be credited and the vendor GL account will be debited. Okay, this will be the credit posting and the vendor GL account will be debit posting for the double entry, and this bank account will not be credited at all, credited or debited at all, will not be touched at all. Only this GL account will be used in the double entry postings. This is because the payment is temporarily stored into this GL account until the bank reconciliation happens. When the bank reconciliation happens, the system will check if the check generated from this automatic payment run is actually presented by the vendor to the bank and is cleared, and only then it will move the amount, the payment amount, from this GL account and post it to the main GL account here. This happens in the bank reconciliation. Okay, this just you can also consider this as just a temporary technical account, just for the bank reconciliation purposes. If you don't intend to do bank reconciliation, you can just enter the main GL account here, over here. You can just enter the main GL account if you don't intend to do any bank reconciliation. In this case, we intend to do bank reconciliation, so I enter to a technical account, which is a temporary account. Now let us go to the available amounts. Here you need to specify how much money is available in the bank account so that we can make the payment. Okay, this is needed so that the ranking order can be used to skip to the next account when the available amount for bank account is used up. Otherwise, the ranking order will become useless. Okay, you need to specify the house bank 1000, account ID 1000, available amount for outgoing payment. Okay, you specify 1000, $10,000. That means you just call up your bank account. Sorry, you just call up your bank and then check what is the available balance in the bank account and enter it here. So you tell the system how much amount is available for this house bank and account ID, so that if this 10,000 is used up, the system will automatically skip to the next house bank. Okay, I'm not going to use this. This is an optional step. You can actually leave it empty, and these two are not needed. This will be explained in the expert training and not in this training, because these are very advanced topics. Just save it, and it requires enter currency. Just cancel. Yep, just save it and you're done. Okay, this whole step is done. Stop bank animation. Let's go and have a look again. Alright, over here, ranking order, house bank, available amounts is not entered, bank account is entered. Okay, and we have done this. This is done at the company code level. Now we have done the configuration for automatic payment run, altogether of 5 steps.